As blacksmiths, we tend to have an affinity for old beat-up, rusty tools and equipment. We love a basket case. The idea of fixing up an old tool and bringing it back to life is really appealing to a lot of people. Personally, I like tools that work and tools that I can use in my shop without having to spend my time restoring. I've had quite a few different vices over the years. None of them have been very spectacular vices. This one's the one I've been using the most. It's not bad, but the jaws don't really close evenly anymore, and the screw doesn't seem to hold very tight. You got to tighten it a lot in use. At one point, I actually replaced this vise with one that was a little bit bigger, really a spectacular vise, and it worked great until one day it wouldn't hold very well. It kept slipping, so I grabbed the handle and I really leaned into it to get it good and tight. Sheared out all of the threads in the thread box, dumped me on the floor, and that is a really dangerous situation. But I put this vise back up and it's been okay. It has never been great. You can see it in the videos slipping and things just don't hold very well. And you can see that the post is starting to get loose. This is a wooden post set about 3 feet in the ground. Not a bad way to go, but it's been beat on and pried on enough over the years that the post is not solid anymore. So this whole situation needs to be improved upon. I decided it was time to do something about that, so I reached out to John over at Blacksmith Supply, who also happens to be the sponsor of today's video, and I asked him about their new leg vises. So he sent one out, and today we're going to take a look at that vise and see how it might compare to the old vise. So this is a newly manufactured leg vise from Kanca. So it's new, it's precise, it hasn't been worn out. This is made with new modern materials, which should be better than the old materials. In spite of the mystic properties we like to believe a lot of those old tools have, I think the new materials are probably going to be better. It also then has a more precise screw. A lot of these old vises, the threads on the inside of the thread box are actually brazed in, and that's what gave up on that one old vise. This one will be machined in, I'm pretty sure, and that should be a better system, a more precise system, and it should hold better. We'll take a closer look at the vise and its mounting system after I get the whole thing installed. But this is a 6-inch jaw vise, which is the same as the old vise is. It is a little bit lighter in weight, and that's about the only thing that gives me any concern. But the only way to find out if that's an issue is to get it installed and put it to work for a few months. I also don't much care for the traditional mounting system on a leg vise. It's a good way to do it, but it's always in the way. And when you set a scroll wrench or a pair of tongs on there, half the time they fall on the floor. Now this post feels rock solid in here, and I'm tempted to leave it. When you smack that with a hammer, it moves over quite a ways, and this is pretty light hammering here. Sometimes there's a lot of heavy forging going on a leg vise. And I think that's always been a downfall to the old setup. So I'm still going to dig this up, find a steel post that I can put in there, set it in concrete, and hope it solves the problem. Worst case scenario, I'm just putting a little bit more time and effort into it, and I'll end up with a nicer stand for the vise one way or the other. But with a lighter weight vise, the more solid the post is, the better it will be. You can overcome the lighter weight vise or anvil for that matter if it's more solidly mounted. Now that's not a good sign. Now I think it's time to find a new post. I've got a round one out there, but I really think I would prefer a square post for this. So let's go check out a local salvage yard.
Oh, you mean like...
Yeah, they pulled up.
I hate to see those things end up just going to waste because enough people would love them. Well, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have taken everything that was in my way over there and put it in my way over here. But luckily I've got some little stands that I can go ahead and work on, and I'll just have to get this post ready someplace other than up on the welding table where it would have been more convenient. Now somebody right now is looking at that pad around the vise and thinking, that's not symmetrical, it's off center. Well, that was done intentionally because I want the pavers that I'm going to put in to fit without having to trim them, and this fits the already established layout that I have for those pavers. So it may screw with your OCD, but it works for me. This is ready to put the vise on, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Then I'll try to explain what some of this stuff is that's sticking out all over the place on the post. I'm hoping it all turns out to be a good idea. Because of the way this vise mounts, it will actually swivel 90 degrees to the left or 90 degrees in the right. So that's a full 180 degrees of direction change. I don't know if I will ever find that useful. I did notice the little hanging pins for tools I put on the front of the post sort of bump into that, so I may have to bend them out of the way or just cut them off entirely if I find they aren't very useful for hanging any tools on. But I figured it was easier to put them in now than it would be later. And of course those pins are for hanging things like twisting wrenches, hot rasps, maybe a wire brush, who knows. I just thought it'd be nice to have them on there. And I set them a little lower than they were in the old vise because the handle on my hot rasp always bumped into the table on the top there. Then the little tray at the top back of the post is for putting all those little angle iron spacers and different jaw shapes, false jaws, things like that. Probably won't hold all of them, but hopefully it will hold the ones I use the most. Little rack right below that is for my vice jaw spacers, which is way better than what I had when they were up here because some of them fell through this larger slot. Big ones are okay, but the small ones didn't stay put. And this is tapered, it has kind of a wedge shape to it, so all those should stay put now. And the very bottom has a place for my angle block that I use when I'm doing figure carving. So it's nice to have those tools right here on the vise. And it's nice to have a finished floor around here so that when something falls out of the vise, like a little bending fork, it doesn't get lost in the dirt floor. So that's just a quick test of the Kanca leg vise. To be honest, this is going to take months of daily use to really form a good opinion of this. But so far, I think this is a good tool. I'm pretty impressed with it. My biggest concern, I guess, is the weight of the tool. I'm so used to a big, heavy vise that I hope that doesn't become a factor. But the serious upgrades I made to this post, I think are going to more than counteract any difference in the weight. This is so much more solid. None of what I was doing there did the vise vibrate, wiggle, rotate, none of that. I was a little concerned that the swivel mount for this vise might move in use, but I saw no signs of that, so I think that's a good solid arrangement. Whether I'll ever use it that way, that remains to be seen, but it could come in handy for something if I've got some long bar I need to put a twist in the middle of or something like that. I did share a picture of this vise on Instagram, and I had quite a few comments from people who either own one of these and use it in their own shop, or they've been someplace where they had these. And overall, people seem to be quite pleased with them. They say they're good tools. There were a couple of people that had experiences with these vises in school settings and say they get beat up pretty well in the schools. Of course, any tool gets beat up in a school setting. Students, regardless of their age, seem to be really hard on tools. People working in their own shop tend to treat things a little bit better. The biggest complaint people had on this is the paint, and I've certainly noticed that already. The painted jaws are going to get hot, the paint's going to smoke, it's going to burn off, and while it's going to smell bad, it's not really going to hurt the use of the vise, and once it's been burned back to a certain point, you're probably not going to have to worry about it anymore. But for a few weeks or maybe a few months, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. And while I would be perfectly happy if the vise had no paint at all, I suppose a lot of people would like to have the paint because they're worried about rust if they're in a high humidity area. For me, that's not much of an issue. The other thing I have a little concern for are these rubber stops that keep the vise handle from sliding through. That's not just a rubber O-ring that you might put on a vise with a big ball on the end. This is actually what keeps the handle on. So if those fail at some point, I'll have to deal with that then. And if that happens, we'll make a video about it. But for now, it's a workable solution, and I don't think it would be tough at all to replace that with something just a little bit more creative. Using the vise, like I said, this didn't wiggle, it didn't vibrate, the jaws did not twist in use. A lot of times if I'm doing things like the hold fast, I could see the whole vise move a little bit, and not just moving in the mounts, it was this outer jaw that was so worn on that old vise that it just didn't stay put. In bending the little ring on the end of the bar, I was tapping on the bending fork. That's something that you do fairly often with simple bending forks like this to try and get things bent just the way you want them. And in the old vise, these things just slipped all over the place. And while this fork slipped a little bit, it certainly wasn't as bad as the other vise. And the truth is, I wasn't cranking down on this handle as hard as I could. I don't see any reason to. This holds pretty well without having to put all your weight on that handle. And I would certainly never put a cheater bar on a vise, no matter what vise that is. That's just asking for trouble. Now when I did the twist on this bar, I didn't put any kind of soft jaws or jaw protectors in there. I just let the teeth of the jaws bite into the material just so I could see what kind of a texture it leaves. And it's not as bad as I thought it might be. I don't think this is going to cause any problems if you're going to forge the bar later. I think you'll just forge that back down and you'll never be aware of it. Not going to create any cold shuts or anything like that. But if this is your finished surface, I would absolutely put some soft jaws, jaw protectors, whatever you want to call them in here. And that's a good idea with just about any vise if you're trying not to mark up your work. But if you need this thing to really grip, it's got some grip. I did have the soft jaws in place when we did that upset, and it slipped a little bit, but the soft jaws are completely smooth. There's nothing to grip. You kind of expect it to slip a little bit, but there again, it did not slip as bad as the old vise. This certainly held better. So overall, this is working out a lot better. Like I say, it's just something in my head that really likes those great big heavy old vises. Now in our area, most of what you find for post vises are actually 3 to 4 inch jaw vises. They're really light. They're a lot lighter in weight than this. Most of them, the handle has been bent, the leg has been bent, the jaws don't line up and close parallel. Sometimes people have been running grinders and cutting torches across the top of them, and they are just in lousy shape, and they still want a lot of money for them. Some of these things are going for $300–400, or at least they're asking that much. in antique stores. You never know what's going to happen at an estate sale or a farm auction. Sometimes that stuff goes for reasonable prices, sometimes it's outrageous, but none of those vises are in very good shape. Maybe in your area there's plenty of old vises to choose from, but around here there aren't. And I think this would be a way better investment in anybody's shop than buying a beat up old vise just because it was old. So this is another one of those things that whether it suits your shop and your work is entirely up to what you need and what you have available. But if you need a vise and you'd like a new vise that's in good condition, my gut feeling is this is going to be a good vise. I'll plan to do another review on it in maybe 6 months. What's that, like October? So if you haven't seen that by then, maybe nudge me down in the comments section and I'll try and remember to get a review after I've been using it for a while and let you know if I have any additional thoughts on it or if I still like it at that point. But I really suspect I'm going to be perfectly happy with it. This is the 6-inch vise. There is a smaller version, and these are available from today's video sponsor, Blacksmith Supply. Blacksmith Supply's got everything you might want for blacksmithing. They have forges, they have vises, they have tongs, hammers, anvils, fly presses, treadle hammers, all sorts of stuff. They could pretty much help you equip an entire shop if you needed it. And I'll put a link and a coupon code down in the video description if you're looking at it for anything. In the meantime, I hope you have time in your day to get out to your shop, make something. Stay safe, wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next video.